Welcome to 365 Math. In this video, I'm going to be talking about ratios. A ratio expresses the relationship in size between two or more numbers or quantities, and ratios are usually written using a colon such as 3, 5, which reads in a ratio of 3 to 5. Some say it as 3:5. So a ratio is not concerned about the total amount of two quantities. It just tells you how the two quantities are related. Note that the order of the numbers in the ratio is important. The ratio 3:5 is not the same as 5:3. These are totally different, so you need to take note of these. Ratios are also closely related to fractions. If, for example, the ratio of a girl's height to her father's height is 4:5, then the girl's height is 4/5 or 4/5 of her father's height. We are going to look at simplifying ratios. The question says, write these ratios in their simplest form. When we are changing a value to its simplest form, we want to make it as small as possible. So example number 1, we have 2:8. And what we're going to do to simplify this is that we take the highest common factor of 2 and 8. And in this case, the highest common factor of 2 and 8 is 2. Hence, we're going to divide both the 2 and the 8 by 2. And if we divide 2 by 2, we get 1:2. If we divide 8 by 2, we get 4. Hence, our answer is 1:4. And then number 2, we have 6 and 16. So the ratio is 6:16. What we're going to do, find the highest common factor of 6 and 16. And in this case, it is also 2. So we're going to divide 6 divided by 2 and we get 3. And we have our colon, and then we say 16 divided by 2 and we get 8. We have simplified this and we cannot simplify it any further. Hence, the ratio becomes 3:8. And then number 3, we have 3 figures where 4:8:20. Again, we look for the highest common factor of the 3 numbers, 4, 8, and 20. And the highest common factor is 4. And we're going to divide 4 into 4 and we get 1 and we put our colon, and then we divide 8 divided by 4 and we get 2, and then we put our colon, and then we divide 20 divided by 4 and we get 5, and our final ratio becomes 1:2:5. And lastly, number 4, we have 15:45. Again, we look for the highest common factor of 15 and 45, and in this case the highest common factor is 15. So we're going to divide 15 by 15 and we get 1. We put a colon, and then we divide 45 divided by 15 and we get 3. Hence, our final ratio becomes 1:3. So this is how you can change a ratio into its simplest form. I'm going to move over and look at an example whereby we will be dividing each quantity in the given ratio. And for number 5, we have $40 and it is being divided in the ratio of 3:5. So what you do when you get a question like this where you have to divide into the given ratio, we have to find the total of the ratio. And so we have 3 and 5. Hence we're going to say 3 plus 5 and we get our answer is 8. Now if you want to see the ratio of 3, we then say 3/8, that is 3 over the total ratio, which is 8. And we'll multiply this by the value or the number that we are sharing, which is 40/1. Now 8 into 8 is 1. 8 into 40 is 5. Now we have 3 times 5, which is 15. And remember the units, so we have $15. And then for 5, we have 5/8 times 40 over 1, which is equal to, again, 8 into 8 is 1, 8 into 40 is 5, then we have 5 times 5, which is 25. Now you can do it in another way, because if you have two ratios, what you can simply do when you've calculated for one, in this case we had already gotten 15, so to get the other value, we would have said $40, which was what we were dividing, minus $15. If we subtract this, we get our answer as $25. So this is another way of doing it, especially when you only have two ratios. You can simply subtract what you would have gotten from the original value. And then example number 6, we are dividing 180 kgs in the ratio of 1:5:6. So the first thing to do is to find the total ratio, which is 1 plus 5 plus 6, which is equal to 12. Now we start off with 1, whereby we say 1 over 12, that is this first ratio 1 over the total ratio of 12, and we're multiplying it by 180 kgs. And we go ahead and say 12 into 12 is 1, and then 12 into 180 gives us 15. Hence we multiply 1 times 15 and we get 15 kgs. And then for the second one, we're going to use 5. Hence we say 5 over 12 multiplying 180 over 1. Already we have gotten what 12 into 180 is, and which is 15. So now we say 5 times 15 and we get our answer as 75. And remember, the units, they are in kgs. And then for the last one, you can choose whether you want to use the ratio of 6 or you simply want to subtract. I'm going to show you using both methods. So for the third one, you say 6 over 12, which is half. If you want to simplify it, you can say 1 over 2, but you're still going to get the same answer. So 6 over 12 times 180 over 1. 12 into 180, that is 15. Now we say 15 times 6 and we get 90 kgs as our answer. Or you could have said the total that we had was 180 kgs, and you're going to subtract the 2 that you would have gotten, that is 15 plus 75, which gives us 90. And if you subtract, you then say 180 minus 90, that is 90 kgs. So that is another way you could have tackled this last part. And then moving on to number 7, we are dividing 250 meters in the ratio of 14:11. Again, the first thing, we add the ratios, that is 14 plus 11, which gives us a total of 25. Now for the first part, whereby you say 14 over the total ratio of 25 multiplying 250 over 1, and we say 25 into 25, that is 1. 25 into 250 and we get our answer as 10. Then we say 14 times 10 and we get 140 meters. Then you decide whether you want to do it the multiplication way or you want to do the subtraction way. I'm going to do the subtraction way because right now it is much more easier, because remember, with only two ratios you can simply subtract. So to get the other ratios value, we then say 250 minus 140 and we get our answer as 110 meters. So for the ratio of 11, we get 110 meters. So that is it, guys. That is how you calculate when you are given the ratio. You simply find the total ratio and then you use that as a fraction, whereby you say the value that you are calculating, for example, 3 over the total, which was 8, you get the fraction, then you multiply by the given quantity, which was $40, and you get your answer as $15. You do the same for the other ratio, which was 5. So you say 5 over the total, which was 5 over 8 times 40 over 1, which is the same as saying 40, and then you get your answer as 25. Or if you only have two ratios like what you had here, 3:5, and what you had here, 14:11, we could simply just subtract for the other ratio. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. Please do hit the subscribe button for more videos. See you in the next one.